Good. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Dwayne Farley. I'm the National Sales Manager for MD Pro Canada. I'm also the Technical and Installation Specialist for MD Pro and PROVA products.
And I'm Mark Albinetti. I'm the Technical Specialist and Installation Specialist for MD Pro, PROVA in the United States.
So up here on stage, we have Mark, myself. Between us, we have over 70 years experience. One of us is older. We won't say who, but we also have Scott. Scott's been installing for over 17 years now. Scott's going to do all the work so that Mark and I stay clean. So MD Pro and PROVA. MD Pro is a company that's almost 100 years old, and PROVA has been in the market now for 15 years, actually over 15 years. So we're a company that's been around for a long time. We have very few complaints with our products or issues.
PROVA has been at the forefront of installation products technology for a long time. They're cost efficient, and today we're here to show you three of our newest products, our Pan Multi, our new improved PROVA Drain, as well as our new curbs, which are 4-foot and 5-foot lengths with a 4-inch high profile. So today we're going to do, why are we here? We're here today to show you our multi-pan installation, which is a curbless, barrier-free shower.
So curbless versus curbless, why? A lot of people think that their shower, they want to keep that water in the shower area, which is right. There's nothing wrong with that. But some want the barrier-free. It's an aesthetic look, a European, modern, sleek design. Also, when you're talking about these curbless showers, water's going to get out onto your bathroom floor area, the rest of it. This is something that's got to be addressed. Somehow, it's got to be waterproof. All right? So, how are we doing so far, Mark?
Great. Today we're going to show you both a curbless and curb situation. And to make a curbless shower, you either have to have the floor lowered or build up your bathroom floor. Today we have lowered the joist, which Dwayne's going to show you in a minute as Scott goes ahead and installs the board.
Like, curbless showers are a necessity for some people with disabilities. As we age, we are getting mobility becomes a bit of an issue. A Pew Research Center, they put out an article back in 2011 stating that for the next 19 years, 10,000 Americans are going to turn 65 every day. We're in year 7. We've got 12 more years to go. So what Scott's going to do here now is he's going to glue down that plywood that we have done a little mock-up here. We have sistered up the existing joist with a 2x4, glued and screwed, and we have dropped it the height of the plywood that we took out. This happens to be 5/8 plywood. So now Scott's going to go ahead and he's going to glue it all in and screw it. This could be 3/4 inch plywood. It could be 1x6 boards, 1x12 boards on an angle. Whatever that is, you have to drop it down to make everything come out level. Scott, is that arrow the right way?
You heard the A. That's our Canadian contingent.
Canadian contingent.
In school, they got all A's.
Well, we all know how to spell Canada, right? C-A-N-A-D-A. So Mark's going to tell you now about our PROVA Pan Multi.
This is our PROVA Pan Multi. It's 4 pieces that interlock together that have the fall already built into it. It's easy to put in and easy to cut. We have grid lines in here that help you with what size pan you're going to be. They come in, the 4 pieces make a 5x5 shower. Today we've cut it down to basically a 4x4 for this installation.
Yeah. How dense is this pan, Mark?
Pretty dense.
Pretty dense.
Almost as dense as me.
This pan is a 3.5 pound density. How they measure that is a cubic foot of this product weighs 3.5 pounds. So as Mark mentioned, these pans have a 1/4 inch slope per foot, which is code for running water, right? To drain water. The outside of this pan is 7/8 of an inch. We've cut it down to a 4x4 which means every 6 inches you cut into this pan, you're dropping down 1/8 of an inch because of the 1/4 inch run per foot. We go in a foot, we're going to drop down 1/4 of an inch. So right now we're going to be at 3/4 of an inch at the 4 foot mark, which is what Scott's doing here right now. Now he's going to spread some mortar for you. Mark?
Scott is installing the PROVA multi-pan with a polymer modified thin set. He's using a 1/4 inch
By 3/8.
3/8 inch notch trowel. And as you see, he's burning it into the plywood, making sure that the area that he's tiling and putting the pan in is level, clean, free debris, and structurally sound. With all our products, we recommend polymer modified thin set. Well, why do we do that? If any of you have ever been out on a job, you set tile one day, you come back the next morning, you only got one bucket for water, and the bucket that you or your helper didn't clean out that has thin set still in it. So to get another bucket, you go out to the garage, you slam the unmodified bucket upside down on the floor, and the thin set comes out in one piece. If it's modified, you take the side of the hammer and beat out the bucket and hope you don't put a hole in it, or you have to run and get another bucket. So obviously, polymer modified thin set is stronger than non-modified. With porcelain tile being less than 1/2 of 1% water absorption, you have to have something sticky to stick to the porcelain tile. In the old days when we did mud, you know, you had the tile that had some porosity to it. You would get that action, capillary action, grabbing it, and you get a mechanical bond. Today, with the porcelain tiles, you need an adhesive bond. And we call it a bed because you need that support. Just like you get support in your bed at night when you go to sleep, you're getting support with both with the thin set and an adhesive with the polymer modified. When polymer modified thin sets first came out, we called them latex modified thin sets. Now you hardly hear the word latex, but you hear polymer modified. So with some of the larger tiles now, the 12 by 24s and larger tile, a lot of people say, well, how does that dry? Well, a lot of them have the heavy tile thin sets have products like calcium aluminate and different things that are drying chemically and don't depend just on hydration.
Right. So because of 3.5 pound density, it's very thin at this inside edge. That's why it's 3.5 pounds, because we had to reach that 1/4 inch per foot for water to flow. When this is mortared down with a polymer modified mortar, it's a solid product. It's 3.5 pounds density here as it is here. All right? A tip we do, if we mark the inside of these, we always know where they go. So the chance of the drain being perfectly level are slim, but it's possible. By putting a mark on here, we know exactly where these pans go. Not putting the wrong one in the wrong place, trying to pull it back up. Just a little tip that I do when I'm installing them.
If you notice too, he's troweling in one direction so you don't trap the thin set. You notice too, he is back buttering the pan, and in the front of the pan as well, but he's back buttering the pan so he gets 100% coverage, or as close to 100% as possible.
Yeah. This is a plywood substrate, so it's pretty flat. Concrete substrates are always undulating. They're up and down a little wee bit. We recommend then that you would trowel the back of this with a notch trowel to take up that unevenness. But these have to go in on a level substrate. Clean, flat, dry, structurally sound, but also level. Because it is that 1/4 inch per foot. If it's off level of your substrate, water may not flow properly. And you can see why Mark and I aren't down there doing this. One of us is getting dirty.
And one of us is getting old.
One of us is getting older by the minute.
I can still get down. It's getting up that's the problem.
Yeah.
So Scott's almost finished putting the pan in, and Dwayne is going to tell you about our new improved PROVA drain.
This is brand new out. We've always had the same style, but we've made some improvements that we think are fantastic. We have a collar on here now that adjusts up and down, so we can do a tile down to 3/16 or turn it all the way back out, flip it over, and do a tile up to 1.25 inches. Also, this, because it has a collar on it, it moves back and forth in this drain 1/4 inch, which isn't a lot of movement, but it could also mean cutting or not cutting at the back of your wall. In my own shower, my wall is 7.5 feet long. If I couldn't have moved that drain that 1/4 inch, I would have had cuts all the way along the back of my shower. By moving it, it saved me hours, plus it looks better, so it helps with your layout. We also have always given you an extra 1/2 inch of bonding flange in here, which isn't important on a new construction, but a reno or in a basement floor or concrete floor, you can't get at the drain pipe, you're not gonna cut it perfect. This gives you a little bit of leeway of making that.
Dwayne, is that the only color it comes in?
And I'm not there yet, Mark. On our drain around the outside edge here, we have countersunk holes. These we put in for a reason. In some places or areas, the plumber must hook the plumbing pipe up into here. Some contractors do it themselves, but as to meet code, the plumber wants to hook it up. He's not coming today, because when you're doing it, he won't be there at the same time. He's probably coming tomorrow, the next day. When he does that, you can screw these into that plywood floor, and that way the plumber the next day cannot push this off. Because mortar takes 28 days to cure, right? So he could force it off the next day. Even though we have the PROVA bond on here, top and bottom, where it's bonded into that pan, it still isn't set for 28 days. Something we also have now is we have new colors out. While some are new, we still have our chrome, our stainless steel. We have our oil rub bronze, brass or gold, whatever you want to call it. And this is our newest one, graphite.
You ready to switch?
This one, when turned, can be black, it can be chrome, it can be gray, it can be a smoky color. It is really a real pretty color. Have a look at it.
Scott's now getting ready to put the pan liner in, which basically is already pre-cut to a 5x5 with the hole already cut in it for you. It's made of our same PROVA mat material, which if you aren't using our PROVA board plus on the walls and you're going over drywall, you could use this material. Again, this is applied with a 3/16 inch V-notch trowel with polymer modified thin set. We cut it down to 4x4 for this.
Some installers have tried to use a larger trowel. They can't get it smoothed out. These are rough surface. Using this trowel, you can flatten it out almost perfect. Are you low in mortar? And again, like the drain, I put a narrow on here, knowing it goes in that back corner. If not, you're gonna get it in wrong, because you gotta pull it back up and probably make a mess. You got enough. We should have mixed up more mortar.
But this is a demonstration. Do as we say, not as we do. We got like 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Now, basically this would be it for a curbless installation. The only thing that we want to make sure of is if you see the crack in between this is our ProvaFlex product out here. We could also have our ProvaFlex heat. What we recommend is use our roll of
PROVA joint?
PROVA joint or the mat itself and extend it, we say 2 inches overlap. And that would create your waterproof system.
PROVA joint, as with PROVA mat, there's no right or wrong, there's no up or down. Okay. Gotta go real quick here to give us 2 minutes. You spread that all the way across. Using the polymer modified mortar again, you're gonna flat trowel it out.
And basically, he would use the 4-foot curb for this installation. But you can make it any size you want by cutting it down. I use a Japanese saw. You can cut it with almost anything. It has the grooves in the bottom that
You're not gonna get time
you put
for
the mortar, fill the mortar in here and also on the floor. And I tell you, you can come back the next day and try to kick it off. You're not going to kick it off.
No. You could bring PROVA mat out farther past that area if you wanted to, especially doing a heat system where you have our ProFlex heat membrane with the wires running through it. Run that mat out on top of that would be a good idea also. Do we have any questions?
These are just
No.
some of our products. We're at booth 7811. Look for the MD Pro sign. Dwayne, where is it?
Right there, spinning right there. Also, Paul's right here. Paul has some vouchers for you. He's going to pass them around. It'll save you 10% your next purchase. Paul, if you can hand those out, that'd be fantastic. You're going to fill the back of those dovetails. Well, we're done. We're almost done. We're good? No questions?
We did that in a hurry.
Yeah. He's even
Might take you a
sweating.
little longer to do it yourself, but not much. But
Thank you very much for coming out. Appreciate it.